Hello everyone, and thanks for stopping by to Scrap and Craft with Terry. Today we're going to make an envelope booklet / mini journal. And this would make a great gift, I think. Be something you could carry around in your purse or your bag, stick it in your car. So if you have to make notes, and with the holidays coming up, like I say, it would make a great gift for someone that would like just a little small journal to carry around. So we're going to go ahead and get started. If you like my video, I just ask that you give me a thumbs up and check out my other ones. Let me just tip that a little tiny bit there. So we're going to use just 2 of these regular envelopes, and I've already inked them. These are, can't remember the sizes, about 6 3/8 by 3 5/8. They just come from the Dollar Tree, so you don't have to have expensive envelopes. Now, like I say, I already inked both of them. We're going to put paper inside to cover this up. And when we glue them together, we're just going to glue them. We're going to glue one on top of the other one, okay? But I want to add my papers inside first. And I already cut this to size. And you just want to make for sure that it doesn't go over your fold line. I cut these back just a little tiny bit, just to give a little extra space for putting something in here. I did that on both of them, and then I just inked over it. So I just cut it, just so it would fit in there. You just have to mess with it. This one is about, let me see, it's about 6 and 5/16 by 6 5/16 by 3 1/2. Now I'm not going to glue it and put it down in there. I'm just going to put it down in there. Then I'm going to open this up and I'm going to smear some glue in there, because I have a hard time after I put glue on it sliding it down in. So, but however you want to do it, you can get glue down in there quite a ways. I'll glue this, then I'll finish gluing my edge where I need it. And just try to make for sure that you're not in line with your fold. Then I can just run this right under my edge and just glue that down. And I think that works just as well as anything. And we'll wipe that off of my fold line. So now we have our pocket covered on the inside. Then on this one, I cut it the same width, but I cut it the full length because this one is going to be on top, and I want the inside of my flap covered also. So all I'm going to do is glue it down, and then I'm just going to trim this off. So I'm just going to mess around with it here a little bit. Probably, I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. All I'm putting glue down on the inside. Just hold that. Now, when I glued these envelopes, I just, or when I inked the envelopes, I inked the whole thing, because I I figured it wouldn't matter which envelope went on top and which envelope went underneath. Now I can just lift this up, put some more glue on here, and glue all along this edge. Make sure I didn't put glue on my table. And that just covers that whole thing in. So we don't have to have a transition there. So now I'm just going to go ahead and trim this off. Trying not to trim my envelope away. And then this can be used for something else. So then we're just going to fold this on the crease. Just making sure that we keep our regular crease. And we'll just burnish that down a little bit. I have some right here that just barely needs trimmed. There we go. Now I can ink along there just to cover up any white edge that might be showing. And to ink the inside of this, oops. Now, because my glue is wet, I'm not going to try to fold this back to ink that. You can if you want. I just want to make for sure that my fold stays nice. So now we have that completely covered. Could probably put just a little tiny bit of glue here to hold this flap together. Just got to make for sure that we don't close our pocket. Well, I can get back into doing envelope stuff again. I had some other stuff that I wanted to do with envelopes, and they kind of got set to the wayside. But I think I'd like to start doing some again because it's fun. Now I want to go ahead and ink along this. To cover some of that up. How many of you like envelope projects? You can do so many things with them. See, now a little bit of our blue is going to show there, and I don't think that's going to hurt a thing. I didn't want to cross over it because I didn't want to make it too bulky right there. So then this is going to glue on top, and we're actually not going to see that really because we're going to have a little signature in here. So I want to put my glue around. Let me put this under here. I'm going to put my glue around on my flap. Just make sure you don't get that close to your fold. I'll just stay back a little tiny bit. And then try to go out to the edge. did everyone have a nice weekend? We did. We had a nice weekend. Nice and relaxing. Had game night with our daughter and her family, and that's always fun. Game night and snacks. And who doesn't like snacks? Okay, so that'll be like that. And then this will just help to support it. This extra piece in here will help support it, the spine a little bit. Now, I could have always went ahead and run that up underneath there. I guess I could have done that, and that would have helped made it a little bit stiffer, but still we have extra piece there. I think it'll be just fine. So then it would fold like this and fold over like this, and this will be our front, and this will be what closes it. So now I have, let me see, do I want to, oh yeah, we'll just go ahead and do this now while we're doing it. I want to cover my outside flap. So I just took a piece of leftover paper and stuck it under here. Actually, let me see. Stuck it there. I just went to my edge, or to my my fold line there, and then I just drew around it. So I'm going to go ahead and put glue on this, and that'll cover my outside flap. This will be the flap for our closure. Then I'll just go ahead and even this up as much as I can to make it look like it fits. And I think that's good. Now a little tiny bit on this corner right there didn't cover, but that'll be okay. It'll be just fine because it doesn't have to be perfect. Now we'll go ahead and trim this off. So if you was going to make these for holiday gifts, this would make a great mass make. And you don't have to have great big pieces of paper to cover these envelopes. And you can use digitals or scrapbook paper, whichever you would like to use. Now let me go over this again, and we'll go over the outside. Now if you don't like to ink, you don't have to ink. Years ago when I did scrapbooking, we used chalk. And we would do the same thing with our chalk as what we do with our ink, and it would highlight our edges. I loved using my chalk. Okay, so there's that. Okay, now I'm going to cover the inside of my envelopes. And all I did with my paper was stuck it down inside like I did this and just drew around this design, cut on the inside of my line, And that makes your pattern. Now I'm not sure, I don't think it matters which one of these I have on what part. Nope, I don't think so. So we're going to go ahead and just glue them down. So this is a pretty relaxing project. And it doesn't take that long to cut the papers out. Now, if you have directional paper, you want to pay attention to the direction because it goes this way. And in this design, I have these things going the same way. So I really don't think this design matters one way or the other, which way we have it going. But if it's directional, you want to pay attention to which way your pattern is going. Make sure I don't go over and glue that shut. So that's pretty, I like that. It's a little bit of a darker, more grungy look, but I love the colors. I like browns and stuff like that. I like all colors, but some really bright colors. If they're too bright, well, it'll just have to depend on what it's used in. Extra grungy, I don't care for that because I don't want it to really look dirty. But when you ink around the edges like this, makes it look dirty, but once you put your papers on, I think it blends pretty good. Now we can put this one down, and I'm going to turn it this way so I can see my sides. I think them are about the same. Make sure I don't go over and glue my pocket shut. And I think these little envelopes work great for making pockets. Cool, huh? And when we open it up, this is what we see. Now, we're just going to turn it this way because this is the right way. So we're just going to turn it and open it up. So this is our front flap. This is our back flap. This is what I'm going to put on the back. These two came from the same piece of paper. So you can see the green over here on the side. So it was like one of them pages that you could fold in half and use. So I decided I would just use them together, but I didn't want to leave them together because I don't want to go over my fold line here. So just make sure that I don't have to trim anything off. I think it'll be just fine. I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac. really, really windy here. It's been really windy all weekend. The other day, let me see, Saturday, we had like 61 or 62 degrees outside. Now I'm thinking it's back down in the 40s. Now let me fold this, make sure it all looks okay. Yep, I have a little bit of a border down here and a little bit of a border up here because that's all the longer the paper was. Now, some of the free printables that you get, they're not, I don't know if they're not sized right, but yeah, you go with the flow. You make it work. I think they're pretty anyway. And by using my Fabri-Tac, I was able to move that paper around a little bit. It doesn't set up quite so fast. I think I have them pretty much even. This is made to look almost like one of them political documents. And the background is the very light, faint pattern. This pattern here is what the background underneath the script is. So now when we close it, this is our front. And this is our back. Okay? Now on my front flap, I thought for my decoration, I made this little tiny notebook, Dare to Dream. And I just put some of this paper right here on the front, put a little bit of lace right there. I put notes, so you can actually write on that. And then I used just regular notebook paper. Let me see, I used 3 sheets. So 3 times 4 is 12. You actually have 12 papers to write on. I used this paper here was for the pocket, and these tags come out of the paper that I used for the front. Well, no, it's what I used for my pockets. So then on the back I put another one, and I just kind of cut it at a little bit of a ripple just to give it a different look. So these papers here, so we have little journal papers, and we have our other papers to write on. And I just did the 3-hole, I did 3 holes, 3-hole pamphlet stitch. Left the bow in there, so if you wanted to add anything to your string, or if you finish your paper, you can open this up and add new in. Then I just did a little half piece of Velcro. So I thought I didn't really want to put anything else on the front, so I thought I would put this on the front. Our flap will close right over it, and then we'll just have, we're going to have a, I think I'm going to use this yarn. Kind of matches the blue flowers. I think we'll use that for the tie. So I'm just going to go ahead and glue the whole back down. So I just made a little piece of paper, used a little piece of paper and folded it over and put my Velcro on it. These little notebooks like this, you could make a bunch of them up in advance. Make them out all different papers. And then if you want to use them in something, just pull one out and there you go. I don't think, let me see. I think that's all the higher I want to put my notebook. Rub this down a little bit, make sure it sticks good. Now you could always leave this top open and make another little pocket for another little tag. And I thought about it for half a second, but then I thought, nah. So there. So that's cute. And I didn't figure anything for decorations on this. You can decorate them any way that you want to. I'm not going to decorate them. Not today anyway. Now for my little signature, I just printed some papers, double-sided. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So again, that gives you 24 pieces of paper to write on. And when I cut these, let me make for sure I have it the right way. Yes, I do. When I cut these, I cut them at 6 1/4 by 6 3/4. Just make sure that they're flat. Now this part here, I could trim it so it's just a little tiny bit more even, but I'm not going to. It looks pretty good like that. And then this will just sit right in here, and it's not too much smaller than what the little journal is. So I'm going to put some paper clips on here. Let me put the long ones. And we're just going to sew it in. Now, if you want to be precise, you can make a pattern to show exactly where you are in here, where your holes are going to be. But I just really don't. I just kind of eyeball it because I don't think I have to be that precise. But it's however you feel comfortable or want to do it. I just have to be careful of my little notepad there. And then I'm just going to poke some holes in there. Let me see. Wonder if that'll poke them. Because I don't want great big holes. Oh, yes, it did. Very good. My other pokey makes bigger holes. Just kind of hold it into your spine there, and you just hope that it comes out where it's supposed to. I have a piece of foam. It's real thick foam. Well, I made it thick. I glued it together to make it thick, and generally that's what I poke it into. But this is not real thick, so we'll just poke it using this thing. There we go. So there's my 3 holes. Now let me grab my whatever I'm going to tie it with or sew it with. Okay, so I'm just using my crochet thread. And I'm not going to cut it yet. So I'm going to start in the center and just go through and up to the top. And you can use a lot of them use a waxed thread. You can use crochet thread. You can use embroidery floss. Now I like to do it with embroidery floss too. I could have done that on this one. So now just pull it so you have enough to tie. And now I'm going to just cut this off, and I'll cut this off. I just don't like to waste my crochet thread. Now you want to make for sure that your strings are on each side of the center tie. Make sure that your outside is tight, and just tie it in a knot. And then you can leave this long, so you can put dangles in it. You can cut it off short if you don't want it hanging down there until you do your dangles. You can just tie a little bow, and you can either cut them off shorter or you can leave them longer. I'll just do it like that, and we can take these off. And I think this is just a cute little journal. So then we would have our pages. I like this paper. And this. The ones that have design in them, they're still light enough that you can journal on it. We have leaves, and the center paper, it's actually supposed to go this way, but either that way or that way, this way. But I didn't think it mattered at all. It's nice to journal on. Then we have more leaves, and we have a design in this one. So lots of journal space with our papers and our little tags. And then this flowery paper, it's light enough that a blue pen or a black pen, you can see it on there. Now, for in our pockets, I have these little journal cards. And I've used these before in other projects. This one just has script on it with a little rose and looks like a little postcard or a post stamp with the mark down here, postmark up there. So we can put these in here. And then we have this one, and I made sure that I printed on the back of both of these. So I didn't have to ink them up with my ink. I just inked around the outside. So that's pretty journal space. So I have 2 for each pocket. And we have the same over here, just a different color. We have little butterflies in this paper. And we have our roses. Now this looks upside down, but the script is going this way, so that's what we're going with. Has little postmarks on it, so we can stick that in there. And these were just printables. And then it folds over, and it folds over. Now all I'm going to do in my flap is just punch a hole. And I cut these out. I hope that this is not too heavy for this. So let me see, how far up do I want to go? I better make a little mark. I might go too close to the edge. And I just cut this out of the paper on the back. So let me see if I can punch that out with this. Oh, I don't think that's in the center. Let's try again. Let's get it in the center, Terry. That might look better. Hopefully. Now you could use any kind of closure that you wanted. I can't use Velcro because of my little booklet here. And you don't have to make the hole for it to go through. You can just tie it around. There we go, and I shot it over on the floor. So now I'm just going to glue one of these on the front and one on the back. And if you want to put eyelets in, you can do that. I don't have an eyelet setter, so this works just as well, and it matches. I think my glue thing is clogging. And then I want to put one on the inside. There, now it's coming out like it's supposed to. And that just makes the whole look finished. So now what I want to do, and this yarn, you have to be careful because the ends, I mean, it frays really, really bad and it breaks off. But I like the color of it. And let me see, do I have the thing here? I got this at the Dollar Tree, I think last year. And it's called Premier Just Chenille Medley. And as far as I know, they still sell this. It's very pretty. I got, I think, 4 different colors. 3 or 4 different colors. It's just that the ends of it come apart. So I'm just going to put this up through here and kind of do this thing. And because this is really soft, yarn, it won't tear the paper. So we can have one go one way and one go the other way, maybe. Or we can have them both go this way. And that's what we can do. And we can just wrap them under there. Now on the ends, I'm going to just tie a little knot and add some glue to it because like I say, it just kind of really breaks. But I'll do that off camera. So there we go. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments. Do you think you'd give it a whirl? Easy project, great gift. And that's our video for today. So if you like my video, I just ask that you give me a thumbs up and check out my other ones. If you haven't subscribed to my videos yet, I just invite you to, or my channel, I just invite you to subscribe to my channel. And I hope you come back to see me for my next one. Until then, everyone, have a wonderful day and happy crafting. Bye for now.